Hey guys, how is everyone doing on this fine summer day? Or night? Or morning? Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, then it's like winter, right? Anyway, we're back, and I don't know about you guys, but I am really in the mood for a day by the pool. Now, I live in a one-bedroom apartment in a busy city. There's no swimming in my future, at least not without a long drive. So I thought it might be fun to channel some of that summer-loving energy into my artwork. If you're a League of Legends player like myself, or just a fan of the game's world, you already know where I'm going with this. A long-running tradition of the Riot art team is producing a series of fun-in-the-sun, summer-themed skins to dress up their cast of characters with. This line of alternative character designs is called Pool Party, and there are currently 24 characters that have skins in this universe. Tarek, Renekton, Caitlyn, Draven, Mundo, Fiora, Gangplank, Graves, Heimerdinger, Jarvan, Lee Sin, Leona, Lulu, Misfortune, Orianna, Rek'Sai, Singed, Syndra, Talia, Zac, Ziggs, Zoe, and the two newest additions to the skin line, Set and Braum. From a character designer's perspective, these skins are a really fun way to break each character down to their most distinguishing traits, and represent them with much more familiar and casual visuals. There are elements of fantasy involved in each one, sure, but for the most part, it's a lot of fun seeing these designs being reinterpreted as what amounts to just normal people having a fun day by the pool. It's like a beach episode from an anime. We're already familiar with all of the characters, their flaws, their motivations, their quirks. Now we can strip away the drama and intrigue of their respective stories and just appreciate them for their individual personalities in a setting much like our own world. It's a welcome break from the overarching tone of most of the League of Legends lore. It was actually the first thing that attracted me to the game. I understood League of Legends to be a very serious, very no-nonsense kind of game. From what I had heard and saw back in 2014, all of the characters were rendered with dark tones and muted palettes. They looked very severe and hostile, and I was just turned off to the game as a whole because it all felt very one-note. Then I saw this splash art, and my entire perspective of the game shifted. Since then, Riot has done a great job diversifying the personalities in their game. Even without skins, the current roster of League of Legends champions strikes a wide range of character design, from cute to scary to friendly and beyond. The pool party skins add that extra layer of dimensionality to the champion pool by pushing the characters out of their dark, tumultuous worlds of chaos and violence, and allowing fans to appreciate their complexities in an entirely different environment. And that's what I love about them. That, and I'm a big fan of the whole fun-in-the-sun cliché aesthetic. Unfortunately, it would seem I'm in the minority with that opinion. As much as I love these skins, they are reportedly some of the least purchased items in the game right now. As evident with the latest addition to the skin line, Riot is devoting less and less time and resources to creating these skins and focusing more on other universes that will more consistently bring in revenue. Not to say that the Braum and Set skins weren't great. I still think they did a great job with these, but it's sorta unprecedented nowadays to see only 2 new skins added in one patch. I can't really complain. I understand that Riot is a company as much as it is anything else, and it needs to make money to continue to produce new content for us. But what I can do is use what I know about the characters in League of Legends and my skills as an artist to create a handful of new designs that I think would fit in beautifully with the rest of the Pool Party universe. A few weeks back, I spent some time designing and rendering 3 Pool Party skins of my own, building off of the themes I previously discussed with champions who have yet to be expanded upon in this capacity. The 3 champions I chose were Rell, Volibear, and Brand. Rell and Volibear are 2 of my favorite champions in the game. I think that they are incredibly well designed, fun to play, and, in Volibear's case, a great example of how successful Riot's character design team can be at bringing their outdated old champions into the modern day. However, neither of them have skins that explore their personalities in that fun, casual, and low-stakes manner that the Pool Party skin line does for other champions. Unless you count the Police Captain Volibear skin, and I don't, because that's just a whole other can of worms. Brand is Brand. One of the remnants of old League of Legends who isn't terrible enough to warrant immediate action or a full visuals and gameplay update, but is instead just a boring, 2-dimensional design more fitting as a mob enemy in a PS3 game than in modern League of Legends. He is, however, one of the last champions you might expect to get a Pool Party skin. Seeing as how he is a man made out of fire, it may be hard to picture him next to a pool with the rest of the League roster, but I like that challenge. I honestly picked him to see if I could come up with a design that was consistent with the rest of the Pool Party skins, but didn't downplay his one interesting design element: fire. But one thing at a time. I'll take you through the process of designing each of these skins. We'll start with Volibear. Oh, and because I know someone is going to ask, I'm working on an iPad Pro with an app called Procreate. I'm using the round brush tool for almost every part of these pieces. The first thing I did when I was rendering this skin was trace over Volibear's existing in-game model. To make sure I had everything like proportions and perspective correct, I simply worked directly over the character that currently exists in-game. Once I had the basic anatomy down, I started to work in my idea for the skin. I wanted this design to be a callback to my first love in League of Legends, Pool Party Renekton. I especially liked the idea of a lifeguard Volibear that was more of a bully jock than someone actually interested in helping people. Like I said before, these skins would build off of the existing personalities of the characters as they appear in the canon of Runeterra, but in a casual, low-stakes setting similar to Earth. Volibear is cruel, harsh, and unrelenting. He's literally an ancient god of the wild, but at his core, he's a stubborn and angry old jerk who wants everyone to think he's great again. Perfect for a lifeguard role, no? Plus, I thought it would be really funny if he used his electric paws like 2 paddles of a defibrillator. I included that idea with a little defibrillator icon on his lifeguard jacket, and I was originally going to turn his back spikes into a defibrillator pack on his back, but it was too complicated to understand what it was supposed to be, so I swapped that out for a lifesaver floaty and 2 buoy lanterns. Gameplay-wise, it's important that Volibear has something on his back to indicate when his passive is activated. I was working on this piece during a Twitch stream, and it was someone in chat who suggested that I use the space usually reserved for his braids for a towel draped around his neck, which I thought was a fantastic idea. I went with some really bright, saturated colors, something that screamed summer while also adding a little bit more blithe to the whole design. I wanted him to look like a mascot from a frozen drink. I also took a new approach to rendering this piece as well. Well, at the time it was new. I've been painting more and more like this since I made these skins, and it was entirely inspired by how the models in League of Legends are painted. Nowadays, the Riot character artists use saturated values to indicate areas of light and dark, rather than just blacks and browns that muddy the whole look of the champion. Adding purples to the blue gave the whole thing dimension and contributed to that top-down perspective that the game uses. I was so happy with my first illustration that I couldn't wait to start on the next, but before we move on to Brand, be sure to let me know down in the comments what do you think of this Volibear skin. Fellow Volley players, would you pick this skin up if it ever hit the shop? Drop your thoughts down below. Brand was immediately more challenging than Volibear right from the get-go because his existing in-game model is so awkwardly posed. I traced over the character like I did with Volibear, but it just looked strange. Regardless, I muscled through, and after I had the body sketched out, I began to implicate my idea for the design. Where at a pool party might you see something on fire? A barbecue? Sure, but Gangplank already has the Grill Daddy look down. Don't want to take that from him. A bonfire? Yeah, maybe, but that's not really specific enough to distinguish Brand from his original design. How about a tiki torch? Hey, there's something. Tiki Brand, supporting a colorful wooden mask and a head of crackling flames. That would look cool. Keeping consistent with the other pool party skins, I dressed Brand in a very casual, very summery outfit. An open button shirt, a pair of flowery swimming trunks, and, thanks to a suggestion from the Twitch chat, a nice set of poolside Crocs. Someone else suggested that Control 3 would toggle the Croc strap behind the heel. I spent most of my rendering time on this piece getting the mask to look good. I had a handful of reference pictures to fill it up with details. Modern League of Legends skins have a ton of intricacy to them, even if you can barely see it during normal gameplay. I wanted the colors in the whole thing to be warm, but in a friendly way, not harsh and high contrast like default Brand. I also wanted to add some blues for a more interesting and vibrant palette. I decorated his shirt with some bright blue flames, and his bathing suit and Crocs were done with darker blues. Again, an important part of modern League of Legends skin is the gradient of colors that shift in hue as well as value. Just because it's darker doesn't always mean it has to be less saturated. When I started rendering the fire and the glowing parts of the body, I wanted to have some geometric shapes breaking up the light and the dark. I used some simple tattoo shapes on his arm and something like a crown on the top of his head. It also made him look more like a tiki torch. Overall, for such an uninteresting base character, I think I did a pretty good job with this skin. I'll be honest, Brand is kind of a guilty pleasure champion for me. I love playing him in ARAM. If he actually had a skin like this though, I'd consider playing him more. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Finally, we get to Rell. As much as I love Rell's design, she is incredibly difficult to design for. You kinda have to design 2 characters for every skin, seeing as Rell has 2 forms. Her mounted form, where she rides her metal armor like some giant horse golem, and her armor form, wherein she ferromances the armor pieces back onto her body. Because of this, and because of her general lack of popularity, I don't imagine Rell will get a lot of skins in the future. Anyway, I'm giving her a skin, and though it was tough to bring my idea from the design into fruition, I gave it my best shot. Starting with tracing over the model to make sure I got every piece of her original anatomy just right. It was also important that every segment of the armor was included in my design, as the rig for her animations involved every little piece in some way. Rell, like Volibear, is a very serious character with an incredibly dramatic and tragic backstory. She's been used, abused, traumatized, and is now hell-bent on bloody revenge, but at her core, she's a lonely kid who doesn't know how to trust anyone but herself. I imagine a day at the pool for Rell would involve a lot of alone time, reclining by herself on a lounge or on a pool floaty. And she would probably be that person who yells at kids for splashing too much, and then maybe start splashing them back, or beat them with a pool noodle. Honestly, aside from how much I love Rell and hoping she'll get cool new skins in the future, the main idea that compelled me to make this skin was the visual of the character looking super aloof on top of a very silly looking pool floaty mount. Okay, yeah, Rell manipulates metal, not plastic inflatable pool toys, but again, we're breaking away from the canon lore here and just having fun with it. I mean, just imagine, super serious Rell charging into battle wielding a segmented pool noodle and riding on a balloon dolphin. It wasn't all silly though. I took into consideration Rell's personality with her outfit as well. She strikes me as someone who would dress to stand out without wanting to draw too much attention. Again, I wanted bright and saturated colors for all of these, but I also wanted some hard geometry in there as well. And sunglasses just made too much sense. I mean, she's just too cool to make eye contact with anyone. Now, after I finished the design for her mounted form, I had to render the armored form as well. This one really went from lighthearted to straight up goofy. I feel like Rell herself would hate this skin. The sound of the plastic pool floaties squeaking every time she took a step, no one would take her seriously anymore. And I'm sorry, Rell, but it was just too good of an opportunity for me to pass up. Sure, it's silly, but it fits in so well with the rest of the skin line, and considering how none of the characters possess real weapons in this universe, having armor made out of pool floaties might actually give Rell a pretty good advantage in any inevitable chicken fights. This was definitely the most challenging out of the 3 skins I made, but again, I love it. I would love to see more skins like this for Rell, things that soften up her character a little bit and show another side of her. At the same time, I'd also like to see skins that explore the darker parts of her story. I really just want more skins for Rell, in all honesty. Any new Rell skin would make me happy. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Now, no new skin would be complete without some amazing splash art, and you guys already know that painting is definitely more up Claire's alley than my own. I'm getting better at this stuff, but I will always trust that Claire is going to make better, more exciting looking splash art for these kinds of projects than I would. I helped her out by creating a grayscale thumbnail for the piece, incorporating all 3 characters as best I could. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know we haven't made any League content in a while, but we want to make more soon. A new character redesign project would be a ton of fun. Let us know down in the comments which champion you think needs a touch-up from us. Thanks for watching everyone, enjoy your summers, and we'll see you all in the next video.